Golden.
We're golden.
All right. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning into the Joey Class podcast. I am here with my brother once again. Ooh, la cara.
La cara. Chill.
Let's go. We're doing a lot of ASMR. ASMR right now.
Salud.
Cheers, brother.
Black cherry. Oof. It's all right.
So what's going on, man? How was the day?
How was the day? Day's pretty good. Pretty good. We were getting some work ready for the inspection tomorrow over in Montclair for this bathroom that Chris and I are renovating.
Yeah.
We did that for like until we started around 8 and left there around 10:30 to go to Bloomfield to a church and work on this other bathroom. We were just tiling it all up with those little 2x4 inches.
Working on the bathroom in the church?
So it's like a halfway house that the church owns that puts abused women in there when they're having like crazy household issues, abusive household issues, and they move them there.
Oh, okay. So it's for the women who are leaving the household, and that's kind of where they place them before,
and
they
they're
kind
part
of
of
get
that
it.
church, that congregation, and
I see.
like they voice what's going on, and then they help facilitate another space for them. So yeah, right now we're just working on that as well. We didn't have to do the framing or the sheetrock. We're just doing tiling for now. We don't have to install a toilet or anything like that.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the company that was there before framing and doing all the sheetrock, they did a terrible job. Everything was not leveled, not lined up, and there's a lot of finessing happening. And now I'm starting to see the difference between somebody like Chris, who's a master at what he does, and somebody who just wants to get paid and just get out of there. So we definitely had to do a lot of finessing today, just making the tiles look nice and plumb, even though you can see, areas around the walls where they were kind of like bowling out a little bit. But yeah, all in all, solid day. I got home and, I had to take a shower because I just had a bunch of ceramic dust on me from cutting tiles. And, Sierra was cleaning the house, which was nice. And she made food, got to walk the dog. And I'm thankful, man. Today is a solid day. And I'm here.
Awesome.
I'm here with the guy, man. Comrade. So this is wonderful.
Oh, and the whole thing on Chris, it's like, so you were saying you were repairing kind of like shoddy work from before, right?
Yep.
So it's kind of like you definitely want to pay for good quality. Always. Otherwise, you're just going to be cleaning up somebody else's fucking old dirty work.
Yeah, and it's a little frustrating because you could tell Chris was wearing it a little bit today where he's just like, come on, guys. And they said they're 35 years experience, more like 35 minutes, man, because it was, like you said, it was very shoddy, it was very clumsy and
My
no
man
heart.
feels that then.
Yeah, and it makes the job easier for us if everything is nice and plumb.
Yeah.
But, I'm learning like what not to do. And so, for moving forward, I know what I'm expected to do and any others that contribute or collaborate with me when it comes to contracting jobs.
Yeah.
So.
How do you, like, I don't know if you know, like, Chris's kind of origin story or whatever, but how did he kind of get into the whole contracting world? And then how did you get into the whole contracting world?
So Chris started at a vocational school while he was in high school. He was more like hands-on. The books. He's a smart dude, but he just, for him, I think his forte was building and fixing things. Yeah. So he started like that, and he started as a janitor for a school after high school. Then he worked his way up to like an actual company for a bit, doing roofing, things of that nature. And it slowly kind of just developed and more. And he also, deviated from the path. He took the police exam and was trying to be an officer, a corrections officer, but he realized like he wasn't suited for that. He knew that job came with a lot of stress, that something that he wasn't that's not his lane really. He just likes calm, peace, and to just make things look better than what they were. And so, yeah, essentially that sort of led into him, building his company, which is just Chris Frattini. And he's acquired so many really great high-end paying clients that really love his work because, like I said, he trained at a vocational school, and from there he just started learning, the proper way to work. I mean, I think that was one of the last era of like real men getting their hands really, really dirty and just like, this is how you're supposed to do the job, right? Whereas now we're cutting corners and there's not enough.
He's an older guy, like.
Yeah, he's like in his 50s, but know he's got like a vegetarian diet. He's well maintained. He works out. And
you said the whole vocational high school, and I'm like, I feel like that's pretty old school, right? Yeah. Like shop class, like carpentry they still in high school.
Yep. Yeah. So that's where he started, and he's developed a real knack for it, man. He's got the skills, he's got his method, and his work is sound and solid. And he's really teaching me how to work like a gentleman, which I appreciate because I was a bit crazy. I remember doing a job for your uncle, and he was just like, you gotta slow down a bit, you're moving fast. And I'm like, yeah. So sometimes for me it's quantity over quality, and I'm learning like, no, pace yourself and do it right. It is
the quality that you gotta like kind of focus on, and I've been thinking about this today, man. I've been having like a weird day where it's like I had an easy day of work, or at least a relatively short day, right?
Okay.
Not what I'm used to. And I just had all this extra time where I'm like, man, I really wish I had more of these days, right? Just to maneuver a bit more, experiments, the way we're even trying like all these, the videos and stuff like that.
Yep.
I was only able to do this because I had that extra hour, right? Even after I had like a 30-minute downtime. But, I have a boss, and I have a job that provides security, and I have a job that's coveted by many individuals seeking security, right? It's like one of the last bastions of what's the word, you get your the things that police get in unions after when you retire, pension.
Okay.
One of the last jobs that have like a pension, union strong, all this, but it's like you still at the end of the day have a boss. And then I kind of look at you and I hear about Chris, and I'm like a little envious, right? That like you guys don't have bosses. And I remember just a few years back, right? Like you were kind of like still discovering like what to do, right? You had kind of like a job before, and now you kind of gone into this field, and you got this kind of mentor right now showing you the ways. It's like, how does one take that leap?
That leap.
How does one really just say like, damn, like, am I going to put everything into gear? Am I going to get enough money for the next months of rent and everything else? Like,
it's faith, man. I'm going to listen. I guess when it comes to me, I am practical, I am grounded, but I think the common denominator in where I've landed throughout my life has been just sequences of me thinking about what I want and just slowly trying to get a little closer to it.
Yeah.
Music, work, just sort of like a mental state, spiritual state, right? It's things that you really just think about enough in a way that's not negative neither. It's like, I'll never figure it out. If you say stuff like that, then you will never. So I think it really comes down to just simply just these affirmations that at the time I didn't know were affirmations. I just kind of kept telling myself like, I really want to be in a position where I just don't have a boss, but I just have somebody that can really show me the way, that has the patience, and I can make good money while learning. And it came to me just in that way. It's simple, and as, I don't know, maybe it sounds unbelievable, but it is true. Like, it really just takes you thinking about something, gnawing at it in a good way, right? Like, how do I get to that next level? How do I get to that next phase? Keep thinking about it, right? And then all of a sudden that opportunity sort of presents itself a little, it's funny too. Sometimes even mishaps are the opportunities that allow you to venture out into what it is you want to do, which is crazy. Like, sometimes opportunity is a little bit of a trickster. You know, you just gotta be keen and have the patience and not like falter and not fall and be just sad or mad that you haven't gotten there yet. But it really is as simple as that. Just believing in it over and over and believing in it in a way of, or with conviction, right? It's going to happen. Like, I can't give up right now. Like, that's what I kept telling myself. Like, I'm not going to be a bum. I'm going to figure this out. I don't know how, but I will. I have to. I have to. I'm going to man up. I kept telling that to myself all the time. Man up right now, Fred. Man up right now. Like, get it. You can figure this out. You're smart. You know, you're smart. You're a smart dude. You got it. And I'm here.
So it's a big thing of time, right? You needed the time to sort of kind of figure out, right, just the next couple of steps.
Yeah.
About how much time do you feel is that buffer, that initial buffer of, oh, fuck, I need to figure something out, to I'm starting to feel very good about what's happening? Is there like a momentary lapse of time, right? Like where you're like in limbo? Or did it kind of happen immediately after?
I think I was in limbo in the beginning, in my early and mid 20s, even a little bit in my late 20s. I think I told you, like, when we started talking as friends, you know, I was kind of jumping around from Amazon, and then I was a chauffeur driver for a bit. Before then, I wasn't lingering. I was just so happened to find jobs where it was sales jobs. So I was really good at that. And the incentives is what gave me that competitive pay. So I was able to keep up with my friends if we were trying to do something, go on a trip, or, you know, if I had to do adult things, I was able to pay for it. But still lingering in a sense of like, I just was able to finesse my way into figuring this out, but this isn't long-term. What am I going to do? So to speak. So yeah, from like my 20s, I was still scratching my head for the most part. But now I guess for me, it took me about anywhere from a month to a month and a half of just real focus and some sort of discipline to kind of like, well, just fill this information out, or show up. If you had a conversation with somebody and you agreed on something, right? I showed up to every time I agreed to any little meeting, any little opportunity where, you know, something can grow from it. And even though I didn't know what to expect, you know, I kind of took that leap of faith a little bit and just let it kind of unravel, and then see how I can manage and how I can balance myself into getting closer to the opportunity. Now, yes, there was a lot of hiccups and failures along the way, but that didn't deter me to stop. Like, because that's just what it takes. It just takes pushing forward and wanting it bad enough to say like, okay, well, I want to make $35 an hour. Yeah. Like, again, I don't know how, but I need to make $35 an hour. How can I figure this out? And every day, as you know, I'm making my, let's say at the time, $15 to $20 an hour. You know, that's always in the back of my mind as I'm doing my job. Like, this is not it, but I know I'm going to figure it out. You talk to somebody, that energy in the back of your mind sort of maybe makes gravity of that frequency come closer to you. And then it just so happens somebody says something that is blurted out and you caught it at the right moment. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. Well, I know how to hold a hammer. Yeah. Right? Oh, do you have time? Like, oh, sure, I have some time. In fact, I'm still learning, and you can pay me maybe, let's say, $2 more than what I'm getting paid now, just because I'm still learning. But, you know, I try really hard and I show up. Yeah. And things like that sort of, you know, appeal to people when you just do the basics as a human. If you say you're going to do something and you're going to be there at that time and try your very best, I think that's all that anybody ever asks for. Yeah. I mean, shoot, I know that if I was maybe in my 40s and I was working the way that I was working, as long as somebody was willing to work with me and really try their best and put their heart into it, you know, I would be willing to show them and teach them and kind of mentor them the same way Chris is. But honestly, dude, it took a couple months, man, at most, at this stage in my life where I'm just trying to the point where I'm aiming at a high but average. Now you sort of have the skill of being able to find opportunity, right? Like when it's just there, it's like the dialogue's on point. Like I know what to say. You know, I'm really listening. I'm really listening and trying to cue in and deliver what I'm saying in a way that's like, oh, everything is, the chemistry's there. It's fluid. Let's go. Yeah. So, yeah. It's as easy as I'm saying. It really is. But the hard part, the only hard part is just the first couple of steps moving towards that direction.
Yeah. I heard something really cool today where it was like, most people, when it comes to like where they live, right, they'll walk within like a 1 mile radius of where they are very comfortably. Mm-hmm. But as soon as that becomes past that 1 mile, they're going to drive there. And then it's like, you're going to drive farther, right? You're going to do 2 miles faster driving if it's farther than you are going to go walking, because you're going to double back. Mm-hmm. And that analogy is like kind of like to say, once things get harder, you put that pep in the step, you get in the car and you drive towards that destination rather than kind of walk in this very safe, close radius, right? Nothing's changing. Everything is very comfortable. So that's when they say, like, after, say, like a breakup, you getting fired from your job, right? It's like, ponte las pilas, right? Now it's like, I got to drive out. I got to find what's past that early radius.
Yeah. That discomfort, that stress, pushes you to make something out of it. Yeah. It's the fuel to go forward. Or, it could be the anchor that just keeps you still and stagnant.
Yeah, man. And that's what I've been feeling lately, man. It's weird. I've been feeling, I guess I'm feeling like I'm reaching this little glass ceiling of like what I want in the daily. And I'm like trying to use all this little extra time, right? In the morning, in the evenings to like, how can I start pushing this barrier up? Or how can I fucking find something and just start smashing the window just to get a little air in, right? A little light, a little escape from the smoke that's kind of coming inside the building, so to speak. Just because, just feeling like a little ambitious. Like I just want a little more. And I feel like at this stage in my manhood, it's like I just need just that little bit more, I
think it's hard to see our growth sometimes, especially when things are still in development. But just know from a spectator outside of I guess your reality and how you see things. I've seen a lot of growth. I mean, with both of us. Yeah. Again, it's hard to see, but we're a lot farther, and we've progressed since we've met. Yeah. And as long as you have that, like what you were saying, and the thing that I was saying, where it's like, oh, well, you want, you're more ambitious, and you need more. You're pressing up on that glass ceiling. Well, guess what? You're gonna break through. Now, if you were saying something like, maybe we wouldn't be having this podcast. Yeah. You understand? True. Like, you'd just be playing video games. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But, we're talking about it now, and this is what's going to add to that antenna to have that bandwidth become larger. And it's like, it's going to come. It's going to come. Yeah. You're working towards it, man. You're becoming a gravitational pull. At your age, yes, I was working and I had money. I mean, I wasn't really saving like that. But you're definitely your situation is definitely a bit more ahead than I was at your age. And though I'm only like 5 years older, still, like, I think you're on a really good trajectory, and it's harder, especially for someone like you, with your situation with your parents, though you still stay in contact with them. You're sort of kind of like, well, you have to kind of fend for yourself a little bit, Joey. So you gotta figure it out. And you've been doing really well. Like, a lot of people in your situation would deviate into other things. That's like, well, you know what, it didn't happen for me, so therefore
the whole feeling sorry.
And you decide, no, like, even though it's a little frustrating because you didn't have the advantage like some other people did. Because I didn't have an advantage neither. But, me and my wife, and I guess kind of marrying into a family that's all about hard work. And it's like, listen, man, if you're going to be a part of this nucleus, you gotta pull in your weight. You gotta move. So, and luckily I was a good sport about it. I was humble about it in the sense of like, well, you don't tell me what to do. No. I decided to, like, okay, I'm going to listen. I mean, they own all these properties. It accounts for something, They all have good heads on their shoulders. They have money in the bank. Like, maybe there's something I can learn from them. The kitty. So exaggerative. But yeah, so, but you're doing great, Joey. And maybe sometimes it's hard because maybe not a lot of people tell you that. But
take a shot to that.
I'll tell you that you're doing an amazing job, bro. You're incredibly smart and talented. And, you know, we both bring our elements. And the one thing that makes us similar is our consistency and our drive, bro, and our will.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm definitely working on like the consistency. But I forgot who I was talking to. But they themselves were almost hinting at the fact that I'm not as consistent. Sometimes like I'm very jumpy with like the things that I kind of put like my energy into. But I countered, yeah, but I am going to try 1,000 different things instead of just being comfortable with one thing. You know what I mean? Cheers. And I heard this very interesting little thing where it was saying about humans and time, right? We have this very weird relationship with time because we feel like it stretches out a long time. But when you step back, you know, we got 52 weeks in a year. You got about 4,000 weeks in an average human life, right? So you're probably going to live about 4,000 weeks. The entire record of human history is about 300,000 weeks. That's like from the dawn of, you know,
civilization,
from man, all the way to now. 300,000 weeks. And then you got the earth about a couple billion years. Like, man is literally a speck in time. And our life is literally just this very momentary flash. And there was this philosopher, Martin Heidegger, very controversial figure. You know, he was an early existentialist, but controversial because he got into some Nazi shit, you know, was into the Nazis and all that. But he had this thing about man in the sense of time where when you see somebody successful, they you see like what they've accomplished, but just by the nature of them being human, they've actually gave up more opportunities than the stuff that they did take, because there's an infinite amount of opportunities and things that you could have done, but they pursued one thing, right? They made a decision. And when you make a decision, what you're literally doing is deciding not to do 1,000 different things at that same time, right? And it's very interesting to look at that because it takes that pressure off the FOMO, right? That whole fear of missing out. Because right now, at this moment, there's probably like 1,000 different events happening in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Yeah. It's probably 10,000 events happening in Union County, 100,000 events happening in New Jersey alone, right now. And we're missing all of it. We're just doing this podcast, and we made that decision to abandon every single possibility of what we could be doing now and decided to do this.
I feel that. Do you think though there's 100,000 events happening in New Jersey?
I do. Because
100,000?
100,000. There is an exorcism happening right now. There is about maybe 700 orgies.
Oh, okay.
There's about, like you know what I mean? There's just this infinite amount of things that are happening right now.
How about activities?
Everything. There's probably a couple of open mics. There's a baptism happening right now in somebody's basement.
Okay, that's true.
You know, I think somebody just got shot somewhere in New Jersey. Like, there's just so many things that are happening right now. And it's like, I don't want to get too black holy, but it's like, it's so crazy to think about that. What was the fucking point?
Time and what things that are happening.
Yeah, so it's always like, you know, I have these ambitions because I think deep down I just want better for myself. Yeah, I want more than the sort of ordinary, the sort of monotonous, the things that you're used to. I just feel like that's so old generation.
I mean, we have the capacity to do all of not all the things, but maybe all the things. If we have
the capacity, we should take advantage. That's kind of like what I'm like feeling.
It's just the day and age of information. I mean, sometimes information can be a little out of whack, but still, nonetheless, if you want it, to program, you can do that. If you wanted to be an architect, you can do that. If you wanted to do Jiu Jitsu, you can do that. I play guitar. I wonder what bass sounds like or drums. You can do that. You're allotted the info to go ahead and take a crack at it. Yeah. And see. I mean, heck, man. I think one of the forefathers of being great at many things was Da Vinci, right? The homie was doing everything and just about anything. And so
he did not have the level of, I would say he didn't have the level of distractions that we got, right? Like if you're living in what 16th century Italy, like,
so do you
besides
think
fucking some Italian chicks here and there.
Yeah. So we got
Medici brothers. You're just like
back
making
then
drawings
because of the less distractions, right? Back then, we had to kind of hone in a bit more on what it is we were trying to figure out. Whereas now it's like maybe we gave up a little bit of discipline to gain the information because it's more like well, I can always get back to it because it's there.
Yeah,
it's a quick search.
Too much information.
Yeah, it's too accessible.
Yeah.
So figuring out the right discipline, which in the back, that's been in the back of my mind, like making a list of things I want to do to get me closer to becoming a better version of myself. I think I was talking to you about this yesterday on the phone. Excuse me.
Good, bro. I've been burping like crazy.
Oh, I noticed your guitar, your 12-string without strings.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of looks cool, too.
I fucking finally took it off. You see that shit? You can't.
Oh, those are the strings right there?
Yes. I got electric ones. And then, god damn it. I feel like I'm about to cough up a hairball.
But I was saying about what we were talking about yesterday. What were we talking about yesterday? I know we ended the call abruptly because I think you lost service.
Oh yeah, fucking Morris time.
But I think it was along the lines of of trying to being a better version of yourself. And it's not coming to me. It was there.
What? How did we end the comment? Because it was abrupt.
But I do remember that. Like, I think the one thing that I'm trying to be, like I was telling you, was just a solid good man.
We were talking about being Renaissance man. I know that.
Yes. Let's come back to this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be mindful.
See, Leonardo da Vinci didn't have this problem, man.
No, see, he was disciplined, bro.
It's just... So
it's a highway of information in my brain. Things are just zoop, 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 zoop.
Like that episode of The Fairly Odd Parents, right when they were on the information highway.
Yes.
And that's such a crazy apt analogy because even when that episode of The Fairly Odd Parents, right, about the information highway, I vaguely remember it, but it had this feel of still not knowing truly what the whole internet was, right? Because that was just like kind of like the death of dial-up, right? That was just the start of this whole high-speed internet access.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. AIM. Crazy AIM names. Dude.
Yeah, we were living at the forefront of that for sure.
And there's a new version of it because like my daughter hit me up today. She's in Florida right now. And she called me saying like, hey, did you know that the monarch butterfly is almost extinct? Well, I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, you know what? I Googled it. And then the monarch caterpillars is toxic to predators. And I'm like, I had before Wikipedia, right? Like you had the encyclopedias. Mm-hmm. You had the Britannica. Mm-hmm. The Encyclopedia Britannica website, and before that they had the books like in the classrooms. And she's actually going through this thing where she's talking AIM talk, right? G2G, BRB in her Roblox game. And I'm like, it's so fucking crazy to see that old generation of me in my clan games of Medal of Honor, in aim chats and things like that, and then seeing the sort of next version of young kids having their version of chats with their friends, with strangers, but then still having this access of just information at their fingertips, as if it's like, yeah, this is God's natural gift to us all.
Wow.
Like, we have just information. Oh, you don't know the answer? Pfft, the fuck I need you for? Google. No, seriously, it's like, I didn't know that random piece of information. But these kids are going to literally have it. And then imagine the next generation. You know, like, they're going to have just information at their hands. And then what does that mean?
I remember the first cheat code for us was the calculator.
Yes.
It started with that. I remember thinking about that too. It's just like,
or whatever.
Imagine like there was something that just told you when you asked it, and boom. And it's not, I mean, and obviously the computer was there.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this, in my, like, I want to say 6th, 7th grade, when they were just giving us the first calculators to use to solve problems. I was just like, whoa.
I remember I was always impressed with the kids that would like, they're like, yo, check this out, 4, 3, 1, 1, and then flip it.
Hell.
Boob. And I was like, holy shit. And then they, boob. 9009. And I'm like, but it's just a testament to like how creative we kind of had to be with our time, right? I remember paper football, bloody knuckles, you know what I mean? Like, and then you would have to.
Did you guys ever in your cafeteria at school play with the sporks where you bend the tip?
Yes, and then you had to.
You had to break it.
Had to try to break it.
Oh, I remember that.
And I imagine all the kids now just got their phones, but I had my little electronic moment because I remember me, my boy Brian Battaglia, Juan Gomez. Shout out to these old school dudes. But we used to have our Game Boy Advances.
Nice.
And we had the 4-way connector, and we were playing Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Nice.
And I remember our boy Brian was colorblind, and there was like a boss where it's like the boss battle would change to the color of, you know, the different links, right? So there was a green link, a red link, a blue link, and then the boss would change that color, and then that person had to like slash him. He was like, I'm colorblind. I don't know what the color. It's you, man. It's you. Okay. We're just on the fucking bus with the Game Boys, dude.
Wow. You know, it's funny. Living in those moments, you think like you've entered like the end all. Like, whoa, this is it. And it just keeps developing. Everything keeps getting smaller.
Yeah. I remember.
My dad thought everything was just going to get bigger and bigger. But no, man. Just cameras got smaller.
Yeah.
Phones got smaller.
Were you into like handheld games, old school?
Yeah, I had a PSP and Game Boys.
PSP was sexy, man. That was kind of ahead of its time.
I think so too. I think it was underappreciated.
It was.
Underappreciated, rather. Yeah, it was dope. I was lucky and blessed to have one. Game Gear was kind of cool, but looking back, Sega Game Gear, it was way too bulky. It was just this big.
Yeah, I don't think I had that one.
The size of my MK2.
Yeah.
It was pretty big. But yeah, man, good old days, man, of cartridges and super analog.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I got to experience it.
Old school games, man. Like, I was just thinking, I remember when my uncle had brought the PS2 home, right? In that blue box.
Mm-hmm.
And he wouldn't let me play it, but I remember my dad also had gotten one, and he got Grand Theft Auto 3.
Ooh.
Never played it. He never played it. Maybe played it like once. And I remember I would wake up at like 12:30 at night, made sure everybody was asleep, and I would sneak to because I would go to like see him over the weekends, and I would sneak to the living room to play the game. And I remember one day at like 2 a.m, he called me and came over. He's like, you know, you're not supposed to play this game, right? All right, just keep it down. Boom, boom, boom.
Yo, Grand Theft Auto 3 was whoa.
Killing prostitutes. And I'm like, this
game,
dude, I had to be like 9 years old. I was just like, this is amazing.
It's so funny. I feel like we've lived so many, like now it's dull. I mean, as things become more incredible, I think we're excited to some extent. But back then, when like the PS2 came out, it was just like it's a new era.
Nothing.
It's a new dawn. It's like whoa, wow, incredible. But now, you know, we just spoiled, man.
And things come and go like that.
Yeah, the turnaround,
like NFTs. It's fucking life changing and then done. You know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, life changing, done.
I saw it going up a little bit.
And then now it's gonna hit a point where, you know, the people that really kind of are still on it are gonna be, you know, putting more. But the whole mainstream, like the gold rush, and not just that, everything where it's like it's flashy, it's new. Like when Facebook changed its name to Meta, everybody was talking metaverse. Gone. Fireball whiskey, gone. Everything has a run. Yeah. And then it's like, who cares? Who cares? Drops. I mean, you saw that thing where the Japanese, the president from before fucking was gunned down in the middle of the street with a fucking homemade shotgun. News for like 3 days. Done. That's it. It's like everything has its time and then it's gone. Whereas that sort of 90s, early 2000s, those runs were long and they were felt.
Yeah, the feeling was there.
You know what I mean? It was like Lil Jon just came into the building. Yeah, man. And it was
we're half AI
incredible.
Now, bro. We're half robots.
You know, just real quick on that, I feel it, man, because the thing is, just today, I noticed I always have my phone. If I don't have my phone, I always have my work scanner, which is a phone. Mm-hmm. And I've been leaving it charging in my car, and I'll go into Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm like, should I bring my phone? Where, like, I have this weird, like, moment where I'm like, am I about to detach from the nucleus, from the system? And it's weird because it's like, Jesus, I'm really questioning. I'm really, like, hesitating to detach myself from this.
Yeah, I have my moments where, you know, I disconnect. Like this weekend I went camping, phone was off.
That's what you got to do.
Phone was off, bro. It was off. I don't look at it. And vacation, same thing, bro. Yeah. Same thing. I just, you know, I got one foot in the old school. I grew up playing outside, double dutch, ass up. With the rubber ball.
Okay.
What else?
Like how you having that ass up, man?
That was kitchen thing, bro. You know them, you know that crowd over there spices things up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, all you know, I grew up where things were still analog and still just real interactions and word of mouth, and it was cool. I mean, given then you would want things to come to you faster, but now things are just way too fast to the point where we feel so fast that it's like we maybe cry half a tear or something, and it's like next. So yeah, sometimes when I do get a moment where I'm outside of my world, I take that phone and, you know, I throw it in the back seat, and that's it. And you know, I remember coming back from the camping trip, 3 days, coming back to Jersey. I felt that grab from technology. I was back on my phone. Yeah. And I felt it. I was like, ooh.
Doom scroll.
Ooh, yeah, the scroll. Ooh. So, it says a lot because the old ways are still familiar to me. Yeah. I don't know about this next generation of kids, you know, because that's it. You know, and I think about the kids, too, that are born. Like, it's so funny. Like, you are born into these scenarios that essentially change human reality in such a way that it's like, whoa, how did we flip to this side?
It's the craziest change in human history. Yeah. Out of all human history, this is the craziest change.
I'm trying to think of like 86. Like when I was born in 86, I don't remember what was going on, but I can recall when 9/11 happened. I thought about later on, I thought about the kids born. I think Sierra also brought this up. the kids born in that time, and like how that event changed the outcome of like the future for them of what to come, like living in this world of like terrorism and just that concept, fear. And I'm also thinking about the kids that were born during the pandemic, like the masks. That's going to be something that they're going to be used to when they're our age, and we're going to be those old people like, well, we were young.
Speaking of that, dude, like me and Sandra were talking about how it's like you start seeing kids now, like awkward kids who would have been like just the awkward ones. Yeah. They're very comfortable wearing the mask outside. Yeah. Like you could see them, and it's like they use it as like a shield to just hide themselves from the world. And it's an acceptable form of hiding. Mm-hmm. And it's so
it enables these behaviors that hopefully with time you outgrow. You mature, you become more confident, you know your role, your position in society, you accept it and progress. But no, it's interesting. It's a little bit scary. But hopefully, things will turn for the better. I mean, I guess they got to be bad before they're good. And listen, I'm still super thankful for the time and place that I'm living in, because I'm doing this with you. You feel me? Like, we're having conversations, good friends. Like, I'm glad that not all is lost in some way, where it's like we're doing the podcast, even though it's going to be on these platforms of media through the internet. We still have this. Yeah. And this is what I'm familiar with, and I'm so thankful for it. I mean, I don't know what it's going to look like 10, 20, 30 years from now, but boy, am I happy that I'm still relevant in some way, right? Yeah. Being 36 years old, because I see older people. I see my mom, I see my in-laws and my dad, and they're a little bit out of place. Like, if they're not around their people, which is limited, right? Because as you get older, people
dying off. Yeah, exactly.
It's not the same. So you're the odd man out. I'm just thankful that I'm still able to exercise a lot of the old and this new sort of paradigm that we're entering with technology. So yeah, man, like I'm happy, and I'm just gonna do my best to be that sort of aspect in life that, it's not all just this. Just look up. The sky, man, is right there. That's still incredible. And don't forget, I mean, even though, yes, I appreciate everything technology and computer does, but for me, the best computer is the human brain. I mean, it's incredible. Like, just this whole situation that we got going with our flesh and our bones and our organs and our tissues. Like, it's incredible. It is just, and technology is just an echo of that. Yeah.
It'll never reach this construct. What this is.
Yeah. I mean, it probably can get fairly close, but man,
I don't believe so.
I hope you're right. I do hope you're right, man. These movies be saying otherwise, and I feel like movies aren't just movies. I feel like it's just a way of conditioning and a way of communicating.
But that's what I feel like a lot of people, when they talk AI and they get scared, I'm like, look, man, like, we don't even understand, I feel like, fully just like how hormones start coming in, right? Just our biological sort of urges and quick impulses, right? And like, when you're, the way we've been doing jiu-jitsu, right? Like, when you're in a fight, when your body is sensing, oh, we're in a combat situation, there's these movements where it's so quick and almost primal that I'm like, a computer can't get this sense, right? Man still has to create and program computer, and he can't do this. They're starting to kind of touch the boundaries, right? With chess, they just had the first AI that beat a human in Go. Yeah. Which was kind of like the sign of like, whoa, like we're getting up there with processing power. But you still can't give a computer, right, that extra hormone that like kicks him into extra gear. Like, oh, I'm about to lose. I gotta explode. Oh, I don't want to get my limb broken. I gotta escape. I gotta move. You know what I mean? There's just this extra thing that humans have where it's like every system is working in tandem, right? Our electrical system, our nervous system, our digestion system, it's all happening, right? In this biome of thousands and thousands and thousands of chemicals and microorganisms where it's like, it makes no fucking sense. Like my body is more akin to a Minecraft world, right? That you have all these separate biomes with different things happening. And I can come and carve that world into whatever image I want, right? Nobody has to carve it for me. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, being a human is pretty awesome. Yeah. And we should definitely toast
to the humans,
to the human race.
You know, I like that we're doing this, man, because have you seen that documentary on Val Kilmer?
No, but I hear he's like sick.
He is. And there's this documentary where he had, I guess, throat cancer. Cheers.
To the human race.
Yeah, not to throat cancer. But because of that throat cancer, he lost his voice. And he always was obsessed with wanting to tell his story. And he has thousands of videotapes, recordings, all the way from the 70s, right? Of when he started doing auditions for movies and plays and things like that. And it was like, he was saving that to basically write this great memoir of his life once he got, towards his deathbed. But he only decided to do it now because he lost his voice. And he's like, what better way to reclaim my voice than using all the material I have saved up to make this? And it's haunting. It's haunting in a way where it's like, oh, this man really does have recordings to the point where that wasn't natural before, but it's very special because he was an actor who was very meticulous about, like, his performances, about recording everything. Whereas this generation has everything recorded. I feel like Facebook is if Facebook is still around in like 30 years, Facebook is going to be able to do an obituary. Like, you know how they do it? Like, oh, look, your 10 friend, year anniversary.
Yeah.
Hey, you've been with this person for this many years. Check out all these memories. 50 years time, if they're still around, they're going to have enough material to do your obituary better than anybody can do.
For real.
Imagínate, right? Like, they'll be like, oh, sorry you died, bro. But like, here, friends and family, check out this timeline we made, right?
Oof.
But imagine how much material that people have now. And I think I've always been a kid, even when I was young, I leaned into technology. Maybe that's why I'm like, just so into all this.
You're savvy with it, man.
And I kind of want to be ahead of the curve on the whole archiving, where it's like I can see my phases. I can see my snapshots. It's pretty schizo, but there's something there, especially for artists.
Yeah, I think also when you say schizo, I think that buffer, that pause in between is just as important. That little nuance, that detail, I think gives.
What do you mean?
So you're saying like it's schizo in a sense of you like posting, maybe you have like big gaps in between with time, and then you're doing something else rather than what you were doing before. I think it just shows these different sort of milestones, or even if you hit a roadblock, it's like, well, this is how I come out of that. A little bit, right? This is how I adapt and evolve a little bit. So it says a lot without saying anything, and I think that's pretty cool in that regards. And I think when you say Facebook, the machine, because I think the machine is what's going to put together that algorithm for that sequence for your obituary. It'd still be nicer for a human to sort of control that sequence
because they have more creative control, right?
Because that aspect of soul and intention bleeds through, whereas like
the machine is taking random fucking snapshots.
Yeah, it's an equation, right? And I guess your equation is right, but I think what makes humans special is that sort of it factor of like a feeling and whatever else, soul.
It does. Like, you look at those Facebook things. There was an ad I saw where it was, I don't know if it's popping up for you, but it's like an AI software that you sign up for it, and it records a song that you can give to your significant other, right? You just kind of put some keywords, some key moments, and then it's some dude with a guitar, and then he sings a love song, very special with special moments, like, oh, you know, the first time we met at Starbucks, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then, like, you'll see these videos of the people in the car, and then, you know, the girl's just kind of listening, and then she listens to the words. She's like, is that you? Dude smiles, you know, every dude is smiling, but it's not really them. But then, like, they're listening to the words, and it's like, oh, that was when we met. That was where we went when we danced. And then they start crying. The girls start crying, and it's like, I get why, right? Because there was something special, but it's nothing like your man singing a song to you, right?
Yeah.
And then there's that algorithm, like, hey, you can't do it, right? You don't know how to, so let me do it for you. Pay for my service, and I'll put a little bit of soul into it. But it's never gonna be as much soul as when you do it, right? Like your songs, right? Like Dragonfly, I love that song. Like Dragonfly. it's such a special song.
It's a storytelling, of how me and Sarah met.
Yeah, but like there's soul in it, right? Just because it's so deep from the heart, from within you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think technology is great, and it does lend a helping hand for your development. Yeah. But it shouldn't be your crutch for everything.
No,
because it takes away from this identity that you've been cultivating all your life. You know, it waters it down. It synthesizes it to a point where it's plastic, and it's just like, ooh, I don't know. I mean, you could just line it up across with all the other plastic showcasings of a representation of yourself through art or any sort of means. But yeah, no.
I like that keyword, plastic, right? Like before, everybody used to know cash was king, and now plastic is the classic. Like everybody has their cards. Everybody's eating plastics now, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah, bro.
Plastics is so ingrained subconsciously in our society.
Bro, I'm trying to eliminate that. I just got me the Berkey water filtration unit.
What the fuck? What did you just say?
I just dropped $500 on some good purified filtration water, bro, that goes all through stainless steel. I was looking online for a water filtration unit, and I saw a couple, but the thing that was deterring me, or that didn't make sense to me, that a lot of the stuff was in plastic. I'm like, yo, what? Like, no. And bro, maybe it's because I spent $500, and if that water better tastes good in my mind, maybe placebo, you know. But dude, I'm happy with this unit. And yeah, again, I'm taking out all plastic.
I see it, bro. You're glowing.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, you're glowing.
Oh, dude, this cream that I'm using too, bro. By Dr. Berg, even though he's a Scientologist, and I think that's I don't know, man. I'm not trying to disrespect, but something's up with Scientology.
You know, the Scientology was born in Elizabeth, New Jersey, right?
Get the fudge out of here.
Ron L. Hubbard wrote Dianetics on Broad Street, or at least some chapters of Dianetics on Broad Street on the second floor.
Yo, Conrad, shout out to Conrad being a Snapple fact.
I am dead as
this fool just knows about it. Oh man, that's crazy.
Let me just
verify that.
I'm gonna confirm that really quick.
By the way, guys, it's just two dudes that talk, jam, and experience their life and share it with each other, you know, when we have the chance to, either through a phone call, through a podcast, or when we meet up. And I think that's the beauty of this whole situation that we're having. You're just listening to two guys just living. Let's see.
Okay. Frank Sinatra, Bruce Springsteen, John Bon Jovi, L. Ron Hubbard. The first three were born in New Jersey and indelibly associated with the Garden State. Hubbard, born in Nebraska and raised in the West, only lived in New Jersey for a short time, but it was here that he wrote Dianetics, the modern science of mental health, which became the basis of Scientology and founded the first Hubbard Dianetic Research Center.
Okay, it's incredible that he did it in New Jersey, but it'll be what?
In 1950, Hubbard established the Hubbard Dianetic Research Foundation at 275 Morris Avenue in Elizabeth to both advance the subject technically and meet the demands for formal instruction, according to the Hubbard site. But in 1951, the New Jersey Board of Medical Examiners filed a complaint against the foundation for operating a school for the treatment of disease without a license. And wait, there is now a parking lot on the site, but the sole Scientology mission in New Jersey is also in Elizabeth at 523 Westfield Avenue, about a mile away from the original center. You know where the house with the satellites are in front in the front yard?
Those satellites.
A couple of houses to the left, there's a dentist, and then at that same building, there's a Scientology center. That's the one that they're talking about. I fucking told you, Elizabeth is crazy. It births crazy people and it gives people crazy thoughts.
Well, you know, Elizabeth was the first capital of New Jersey.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
You see, I wasn't bullshitting you.
Cool, man.
Scientology was written, or at least the book of Dianetics was written here in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Yo. That is wild.
Take a shot for Rob Nell Hubbard and the Scientology.
Yo, did you see that movie?
You want another one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Did you see? Yeah, sure. Did you see the movie, the biopic of him with Philip Seymour Hoffman?
It wasn't a biopic, but it was like based on it, The Master, and it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix was the World War II guy who was all lost, and then Philip Seymour Hoffman was the guy who kind of like played Ron L. Hubbard. Yes. He's like, I'm a neuroscientist, I'm a psychologist, I'm a therapist, but all in all, I'm a man.
And a CIA agent. Low key, I hear that's a little.
I love that movie. I really love.
I saw it a while back
movie.
ago. Yeah. Oh man, dude, Philip Seymour Hoffman, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
But Philip,
he's he's one of my. You seen him in Punch Drunk Love?
With Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
Yes. He was in that movie. Yes.
He was
I haven't seen it in a long.
The guy who was trying to do the scam with the phone sex operators.
Yeah.
And he was also watched The Big Lebowski. And I also recently watched him in Twister.
Yes.
Dude, he is so fucking good in Twister, dude. Yo, it's a Philip Seymour Hoffman, bro.
Along Came Polly. Damn, man.
Dude. But I was I was watching Twister.
Wow, he was in Twister.
Yeah, and I saw it with Sandra and Aria, and like we were just blown away by how good the movie was, bro. Yeah, look, a quick recommendation, guys. Watch Twister. Just go up on Netflix, watch it again, and it's like, bro, this movie's good. It's fun. It's just like,
yeah, I remember seeing it in theaters over there at Hell's Kitchen, the $2 movie theater. I love that $2 movie theater, man.
Where?
It was, I'll tell you right now, it was on 52nd between 8th and 9th Avenue. Yeah, I saw a couple of really good movies in that theater.
I went to film school in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
In 49th and 8th between 8th and 9th at the film center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They got a big building that's like the film center.
Do you remember Petland? A Petland by there by any chance?
I don't. I remember
corner, I believe.
I remember the dollar. Let me adopt some pets. $400. I remember a pizza place at the corner.
Yeah.
Yes. Dollar Pizza.
Dollar Pizza's pretty good.
Cardboard, bro.
That's all right, bro.
I had to put so much hot sauce on it.
Dude, if you're ever in New York again, go to Joe's Pizza. It's...
Well, I mean, we're going to be in New York this Saturday, dude.
Oh, dude, this Saturday, listen.
Kendrick?
We're going to be mobbing, and it's just the two of us. But like I was telling you today, our hockey level's going to be crazy, bro.
You said that. I didn't know what you meant. Our hockey levels?
Yeah, it's from... So, remember in the scene of One Piece where Shanks meets Whitebeard? And one of the crewmen from Whitebeard was like, all you newcomers, go inside. While Shank was walking through, because when he walked, I guess his aura, I guess his disposition, his energy. Like when he was walking, they all fell because of like how like much of
I remember.
The hockey. You got to look it up. So it's very important, and it's funny because I just again, me telling you, but telling everyone, I just started watching One Piece. 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
And oh man, I love it. I feel so spoiled, dude. Like, cause I have so many episodes, but that aspect of, your aura, you know, your conviction, your willpower, like when you know yourself and what you're capable of and what you're willing to do in order to protect yourself. It's a great way of that context kind of represents that in such a good way. So the hockey essentially is, your aura. You walk in and people feel it, you know, and it's true. Like sometimes you have certain individuals that have a gravity about them that's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What is this? Like, what am I feeling right now? Why is my focus on this particular individual? You know, again, going back to spirituality, it's like when one knows thyself. And again, they're confident in who they are. Like, you don't really got to say anything. You just are what you are. Yeah. And if you're the man, you're the man. And, you know, Shanks is apparently the man. Because when he walked up to Whitebeard and all those newbie crew members on that ship got a whiff of his energy, they all collapsed. Yeah. I think so. I was kind of watching a video that was breaking down hockey a little bit. And essentially... Gold D. Roger, the previous king of the Pirates, he didn't have no devil fruit power. He just had hockey, and that's your willpower, your aura, your energy, like how you carry yourself, your confidence. And it sort of breaks down the importance of that. Like you can have all the devil fruit you want, but if you don't have this willpower, this conviction, then you ain't
absolute belief in yourself because it's like, I don't know anything else.
Right.
And that's Luffy, right? That is Luffy.
That's Luffy. That's.
And I know they're building to some connection between crew. Like, Goldie, Roger, and Luffy.
Yeah, him, Sanji.
Did you see the episode yet? I don't know if you got there where they have to sort of fight these pirates for like in a games like best three.
The Foxy Pirates, yeah.
And like and then fucking Luffy has the afro.
Yes, yeah. He's channeling this alter ego. Yo, I loved it.
The boxer with the afro, bro. I lost my shit when he came out and he's got the afro, right? Like fucking Usopp is telling him, and he's like, yeah.
Exactly,
dude,
bro. But
lost my shit, man.
But reeling it back, bro, we going over there and our hockey level's going to be felt. We going to Brooklyn, Barclays Center, you know, Eastwick in the house, Jersey representing. And we're going to hold it down, bro. We're going to be mobbing. I don't know all the songs off of...
I don't know from the new album.
Mr. Morale and Big Steppers, but... You know, hopefully he runs through some of the classics. Definitely. He's got to.
He has to.
But I hear this tour is really good. Something online about a security guard crying.
I saw that. And it was to a weird song. Like, Love is a good song, right?
Yeah.
With Rihanna and shit like that. It's a good song, but like, my man was definitely in his feels.
We're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to see. I mean, listen, Kendrick, like.
Be coming.
We coming, man. It's my first time watching. You know, you have some references.
My third time.
Yeah, so
it's gonna be my third time seeing Kendrick.
And the first 2 times, how would you rate it?
Well, imagine. So I saw the Pimp a Butterfly tour
and the
Damn tour, and each one was like, just because I was so connected to all those albums, like I knew every song, right? I knew every word, and I was just disappointed that they didn't play. Imagine they didn't play Feel, and they didn't play what's that one where he goes in the past and talks about himself from like 7, 17, and 27. Why God do I gotta suffer? Pain in my heart, burdens on those. I fucked that one up.
It's not ringing any bells.
Is it? It's not lust. And he talks about he starts it off when he's a kid. I beat your ass. Keep talking back.
This is from Damn,
beat your ass. Yeah.
It's sounding familiar. You
stole it. I beat your ass. If you say that game is broken,
I'm definitely sure he's probably not gonna perform that song for this show. But
listen, he didn't even perform it for the damn tour.
I'm gonna take notes. Being
Fear. The song was Fear.
Fear. Okay.
Yeah, the song was Fear.
Copy.
Really good song.
I'll listen to it on the drive home after this. But I'm excited. This is gonna be my first Kendrick. I really loved Kendrick when that Good Kid, Mad City dropped.
Yeah.
And I was into like everybody else. Like it really just blew my mind, and the follow-ups were awesome too. I think we talked about it the last podcast. This one, the beat wise, I think it's all there, very solid. It kept me on my toes, but the context of the lyrics, some were hit or miss for me. So hopefully, maybe with the visuals and how he performs it, sort of inspires me to go back in and really dive into the tracks. I wish I would have saw him for the other albums. I'm gonna be honest, but I'm thankful. Thank you so much for buying the ticket, and you're not charging me for it. So it's really cool because I've been dying to watch Kendrick. The last time I was supposed to watch Kendrick was with you, and I got caught up with work. So that was kind of a mishap, and it sucked. But I'm still happy, and I'm happy we're doing it in Brooklyn. Shout out to all my white people and my Caucasians. But I remember you were telling me it was just way too hot.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced. Because like me and my cousin Adrian were going to see Kendrick in Camden, New Jersey. We were in Camden, right at the one that has the lawn and garden center at the music venue in Camden, and we were thinking we were gonna be walking into just the craziest.
We turned up, but it's cool. I'm from Elizabeth. Let's go.
You know what I mean? But like we were just prepared, and we got there, and it was like, what is this? It felt like fucking Lollapalooza, like just the whitest music festival ever, and like everybody next to me, they only knew the mainstream songs. They only knew Humble, maybe a little bit of DNA, like Money Trees. It was like, what the fuck is that? I was so confused. I was confused.
Maybe I'm gonna be wrong then, because Brooklyn is so super gentrified, especially that area.
Yeah.
Sierra and I went to a girlfriend's graduation party and graduation ceremony, not party, and great ceremony, really cool at the Barclays Center. And all on the outskirts is super gentrified. So I mean, we'll see. But I hope it's turned, man. I really hope it's turned. Like I wanna just,
Yeah, I got a homegirl. She live out in Brooklyn with her man. They be doing operas on the
Oh
stoop.
yeah. What was her name?
Sasha.
Cool.
Operas on the stoop. It's pretty gentrified.
Damn, you know what though? We should definitely load
shout
up
out to the opera.
Shout out to opera. That's a skill.
The thing, just real quick on Kendrick, man. This album, I really hate to admit this, but
Speak true, bro.
It sort of detached Kendrick as like one of these untouchables, whereas somebody like who I feel like is right now in that position of untouchable is like J. Cole. Right, like check out his last project, and that shit was fire, right? And it's almost like consistently he's been coming, and still so under the radar where it's like I got no knock against him. Just this album sort of, and it's ironic, right, with the imagery that he portrays with Christ and the whole thorns and stuff like that. It's like suddenly he became a mortal man to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like
his mysticism,
exactly.
Sort of left.
It's not hitting. It's not hitting to the point where it's like actually like I'm intaking the album the other albums.
I think with this album, he really wanted to just express like I'm not what you think I am, and I'm like, well, okay,
you proved it.
All right, bro. Me. Like why not, man? Why not? There's not a lot of you, Kendrick.
Yeah.
You could have really took this and it's like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get this going. But hey,
it's also a weird time. I think it's just a weird time for that kind of caliber of artist to be dropping music like that.
What did you think about the Lupe album?
I loved.
Right? I'm a fan. And I started going back to his music.
Exactly. I still go back. I like drill music and Zion, some of the other stuff. But as I did keep listening, it's like, okay, I don't have to go back to this anymore. There's like a point where the replayability, maybe just because of the sort of monotone delivery that he has, it's effective for the way the beats come and stuff like that. But then it's just like after a while, it's like there's not that lasting effect.
I feel you.
That I still have with old Kendrick albums.
Yeah. He's actually going to be performing in Central Park for $25, but he's going to be performing the Laser album, which I'm scratching my head at, but I'm no, not Laser. I'm sorry, the Cool album. So it's even for, I think this is a sophomore album. I think it's, so
catalog
but I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go. I wasn't a fan of Lupe. And I was never against, like I never hated on Lupe.
Yeah.
But I got to check him out. I think, you know what? I think I'd be a great opening act for Lupe Fiasco.
I think so.
I think I could set,
I think so. Let's put that in the air.
Let's put that in the air.
For the affirmations.
I think my music, let's take a shot.
Let's take a shot to that.
Lupe, for real, bro.
Lupe. Listen to my man right here.
I will leave that stage ablaze for you so that when you walk out, the crowd's going to be just like, whoa, what just happened? And now we're going to get Lupe? Oh my God, this is the best show ever.
I really think that would be the best show.
You feel me? Salud. Come on, Lupe. I'm a super fan now after this album. But anything else music-wise?
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, nothing's really connecting with me. I've been going back to very old. I was listening to Black Sabbath.
Okay.
The other day. and I'm just like, man, bro, like the 70s music was pretty hard, right? And I'm like, yeah, had to be. And I'm like a big fan of just real classic albums, right? Like you listen to like Metallica's first album, you listen to some David Bowie albums, and it's like, bro, everything from like just the production to the lyrics to the hits that were like all on like one album. It's like, I can only imagine when that came out, right? During that year, how it must have felt like. Like, I'm like really thinking, I'm like, wow, this Black Sabbath album has War Pigs, has Paranoid, has Iron Man, 1971. This is like a few years after, Vietnam. It's like, imagine that, right?
Again, back then you were getting hit after hit after hit of the future, and this just new shift of things that were just happening. Like, oh my God, but now it's just not the same.
No.
And I'm so grateful. I'm telling you right now, bro. I'm so grateful I got to experience that, because I can now have a reference. I can gauge like, whoa, this is making me feel like how that made me feel at that time. You know what I'm saying? I know it's real.
When your album dropped, dude, it was so cool seeing the response that people had to it, because it was like weeks after, right?
Yeah.
And even now, I'll bump Marcus. Even now, like I said, I'll bump Dragonfly. I'm like now there's like something where it's like I'm connected with that time. I'm connected with those moments, and just feeling wise, I get that feeling of like the performance of you recording, just of this little era where like things are just like very bright, very spring.
Yeah.
Very spring, early summer.
And I'm a spring baby. I was, April 20th, 420.
Look at you.
Aries and Taurus begin.
Bringing in the good weather, not like this
you
fucking
feel me? The heat wave.
Jesus Christ.
Springing into action, baby.
Can't, dude. I can't,
I don't mind the heat. I don't mind.
Fuck you, bro. This shit makes me want to run babies over.
I licked the sweat beads.
No, what are you saying right now,
You're
dude?
pervert? You're a pervert or something?
You know, One Piece is very perverted. Like, there's so many moments just to bring up One Piece where it's like, it's very slick. And then like, there's just these moments where, you know what I mean? Like these cleavage moments and the dudes are like, like.
Or Frankie without his bikini bottle.
Oh yeah, bro. It's hilarious, man. But it works.
And listen, back then, it was perverted, bro.
It's different, bro.
It was different.
Right? Adam Sandler style perversion.
You already, man. And I know what it is.
Speaking of Adam Sandler, did you watch his latest film, Hustle? Where he's like a basketball coach?
No, I did not.
It's pretty good.
I think the last... I watched a couple of things that...
Uncut Gems?
I watched Uncut Gems, which was... And I remember you were telling me, like, listen to the soundtrack. Because that's what really just sets the tone.
Oh, my God.
The anxiety. And it was a phenomenal... It was just like my heart was...
Yeah.
Me and Sierra watching, like... And it's interesting because I didn't tell her, like, listen to the sound... Like, hone in on the soundtrack.
Yeah, of course.
But you can tell she was being real fidgety next to me, right? Because of just like, this is crazy.
Yeah, gets you nervous.
And at the end, she's like, that movie was crazy. Yeah. But I think Adam
It's a
Sandler
wild
had a
ride.
couple of contracts with Netflix, and I saw a couple of movies. We were doing a little. We had a Netflix Adam Sandler phase.
Watch Hustle, because Hustle has that, not that Uncut Gems violent flair, but it has that seriousness of Adam Sandler, where it's like, hey, bro, I want you to do more movies like this.
The Hustle, like the word, the hustle, you know, I guess that's what.
But it was really good where it takes like everybody from like the basketball world and it blends this world where you could tell Adam Sandler has a passion, and it just works. It works. It's fun. It's a good movie to just sit there and watch. It's a good hour and a half.
I'll take you up on that. I'm gonna watch it. Take you up on it.
Let's see what else we got here.
Yeah, I didn't. You know, this time around, I didn't write anything in my notebook.
Kendrick Lamar, Jiu Jitsu. How they trying to bullshit my man Oliviera with these fucking odds.
Man, yo, again,
it's
like
ridiculous,
they won't give this man his flowers.
Look, Oliviera, I believe in you.
I believe in you.
I'm betting on you.
You know, maybe the reason why I love Oliviera so much is because he reminds me of Lucas. And by the way, Lucas is my
with
engineer. Just like
I see it. I see it because there's this
and the way he expresses himself.
Well, there's this love of God, and not just love of God in this, praise be to thee, the highest. It's like this love of God for granting me this love of passion, right? Thank you for all the gifts that you bestow upon me, and I will pay that forward by completely being within my passion. You know, Lucas, when it comes to music and making sure he produces the best music out there, Oliviera making sure that he puts on not only a show for the audience, but he fucking fights the best fight he could fight that night.
Oliviera is just I'm a believer.
It's a holy warrior. It's a holy warrior.
He is, yo.
He's literally
and they denied him,
David,
bro. They denied him, these devils, bro. They denied him, bro.
This guy.
God's warrior, bro. They denied my mans, yo. But yo, I'm telling you, I don't really bet, but I might bet for that fight because that's how much I believe in this.
You bet. Let me know, bro. Let me know if you want to pull some things. Because I'm gonna put at least. I'm gonna put at least 200.
That's too much money, bro.
What?
Oh my.
What? Let's look up the odds right now.
What is it looking like?
I'm gonna let you know.
Then after this, you gotta break down the what happened with Jake Paul, bro.
Yo.
And Hasim not meeting the weight. Like,
that's Hasim's fault, man. Like, you know what people are saying? Oh, they didn't sell enough tickets, and that's why they do it, right? Because it costs like $500,000 to even turn the lights on at Madison Square Garden, and they only sold like 1 million. But the thing is, imagine he was supposed to fight fucking Tommy Fury.
You're right.
He backs out within like 2 weeks' time. He gets Hasim, and then this guy can't even fucking contractually make it. So then, like, Jake's like, dude, I'm trying to fight. Who do you got? I'm trying to fight here, and all you guys is bitches. Nobody's stepping up. I'm putting in the work. I'm literally risking it all to put it all out there, to silence every single motherfucker out there. And nobody's doing the work because I think in reality, nobody wants to be embarrassed. Nobody wants to actually go and be like, yo, this kid's actually not that bad. Oof. I might lose. And what happens to my reputation after that? I think this guy who he knocked out last, Tyron Woodley, I think he took it with like, you know, the most honor that he could. Like, hey, bro, this kid's good, but I got paid, baby.
Yeah.
Where he's like, my reputation, whatever. Talk shit about me, make memes. You know, this kid knocked me out fair and square. And
I'm in the Bahamas.
Chilling. You know what I mean?
Because, you know, Mr. Woodley will still knock out a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
don't test him.
Talk shit.
Don't test him.
Oh, you think you just... Okay. Oh,
don't test him.
Yeah.
I'm going to check out the odds right now. For Oliviera.
Tudo bem, pá. Tudo bem. Mr. Ali.
MMA. I've definitely gotten into fucking betting on MMA, man.
Yeah, I'm not much of a bettor.
They fuck you up putting the fucking odds on the fucking on every single fight that comes.
Yeah, everybody's like downplaying Oliviera like he's not the greatest. Like he didn't put in the work. Like, what's going on?
And then and Tai Tuivasa is fucking fighting Cyril Gane. He's a 420 underdog. Nate Diaz is a 700 underdog against Khamzat. Sean O'Malley is a 310 underdog against Peter Yan. Oliviera, it definitely went down, but he's a 148 underdog. So if I was to put right now 200 on Oliviera, we went in 296.
$296.
296. So basically, the whole thing would come out to about $500 if we put 200. And then if you pool, and let's say we're both putting in,
I'll put in $5 just because I believe, yo. Warrior of God.
What are you putting in?
I mean, whatever you need me to I'm down to put in a little bit more just because I don't bet. So
let me know. If we're going to put in 500, together we win 740.
740, bro. We can buy some nice gear with that shit. Ish. I'm trying not to curse as much because I'm a warrior of God.
Speaking of warrior of gods, what else? I've been reading this audiobook or listening to this audiobook, Gone with the Wind. You ever seen the movie?
Yes, with no, I'm thinking of
basically it's like the love story of Scarlett O'Hara and Rhett Butler. It's like that famous quote where the guy, he's leaving and he tells the girl, like, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah,
and then he walks away.
Yes, but Gone with the Wind, like,
it's basically a love story set at the time of the Civil War. And it's based in the South. And it basically tells a story of what the South was like, the white perspective, from before, during, and after the Civil War. And, you know, people were talking mad shit about it because it's like, oh, it's like a whitewashed version of like how they depict slavery. But as I'm like listening to it, man, it's so nuanced and detailed. I would say it's literally the greatest American novel. And I would also say it's akin to, not to get too heady, but it's akin to Tolstoy's War and Peace. I say it's the War and Peace version of America. Because you have these naive teenagers in the South, right? Like ready to go to war with the Yankees because they're like, the Yankees are talking shit. They're disrespecting the South, you know, our ways, you know. I don't know what a real man up there is, but I know a real man down south just drinks whiskey, rides good horses, knows how to shoot a gun. Like it has all these tropes of what you believe the South is, and they don't know better, right? They're just like, yeah, I got my slaves. I was fucking born and raised with my slave, kind of thing. And then the war comes, and it's like reality hits. They're like, oh, war is real. And right, the Civil War was the bloodiest American conflict.
It was like 600,000 men died.
Over. And it's like, it just shows how bloody it was, where like, it's like, oh, this is real. And then how destructive it was for everybody that's involved, right? Especially once you get to know the people. And it's just so interesting as I'm listening to it, because it's like, I feel like this should be required reading. Like, I really feel like it should be required for people to just really get this sense of what America was, right? Like, everybody has their notion of, oh, but it's like this and it's like this, and it's like, I really think we should kind of fall more into like nuance of different groups' feelings. Like, there was like one dude where he comes from Ireland, right? He comes from Ireland to build himself up in the South. And he's just like, oh, these guys like drinking whiskey, playing poker, talking politics, and they got slaves. Okay, that's just what I got to do to get ahead. And he just takes that up because he wants to be a part of the culture. He's like, I was a criminal in Ireland and I had nothing. And now here I got this fucking huge cotton farm, this cotton plantation. I got slaves because that's your status symbol. And I shoot guns pretty dope. I can ride a horse. Oh, and fuck them Yankees. I don't know why, but that's just what you got to say. Fuck them Yankees. So it shows just how culturally you just had to say that because they were the other, right?
How it grooms you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was pretty. That's a recommendation I would say to people. I'm
Gone
like,
with the Wind?
Yeah, check out. I seen the movie. I saw it with some chick. Just because we're trying hopeless romantic shit.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a 4-hour movie. It's a 4-hour movie.
What
dude.
year is that? Wait.
19. The book came out in 1936. I think the movie was late 1930s or early 1940s. And it's the most sold book in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, Gone with the Wind.
It sounds familiar to me, but when you said it, the movie, or I'm pretty sure it was a book too. I was thinking of was Legend of the Falls, and that's Brad Pitt.
What?
I'm sorry. The Legend of the Falls. That's like my dad's favorite movie.
What is that?
It's about war.
Legends of the Fall.
I think it's about World War One, or maybe even before then. But I don't know.
Was it the mic, bro?
I don't recall. Anyways, that's what came to mind when you said Gone with the Wind. But yeah, bro. Okay, I'll definitely look into that a little bit more.
What else I got?
What you got in that little handbook? The pamphlet.
Oh, you know what? I just want to say, shout out to my boy Miguel. He got his 3rd stripe of the white belt.
I'm not messing with him, man.
He asked about you. He's like, bro, I want to roll with Freddie. I wonder how he rolls. Like, Freddie's fun.
I'm fun, yes, because I just throw myself in there, bro.
But you know what's cool, man, about that? I'm glad. There's something about when like you're rolling. It's like you get a sense of the other person, right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
You get a sense of how much they're putting in, and like I want to roll with them because I want to see just what's inside, right? I want to see what's inside of the heart.
Yeah, shout out to Miguel, man. I love Miguel. But if I rolled with him, I think I'd really try my best, even though I'm not as good.
He's nervous about your long limbs.
But I would really try my best to beat him. Yeah. Whereas with you, I'm just gonna throw my body on this fool. Like let's just have a good time. I think Miguel, I'll try to be, I'll try to use my advantage over him. Whereas you, even though I'm a little taller than you, you still have that weight. Yeah. So, there's definitely that. But with Miguel, it's like I'll use my.
Yeah. You going tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll go tomorrow. I'll go to. Yeah.
fucking Henry Cejudo. Look at you know
I
what?
like how he teaches, man. I like how he teaches.
Like but the temple is fucked up because they posted a photo where he like in the middle of a roll, he's coming out, and so like he's all sweaty. He's like laughing at like whoever took the picture, and they're like, Henry Cejudo came to the temple, and I believed it because I didn't know who Yuri was. So I click it, and I'm like, oh shit, Henry Cejudo was at the temple. And then there was that moment where Henry Cejudo, then we meet Yuri. And then there was that moment where Henry Cejudo was calling out Sean O'Malley in that video. And then I'm like, that's not the same guy.
This doesn't connect
because that's not the sense I get. And when I thought about it, I'm like, oh, they were fucking with me.
Yeah. He looks like
Henry Cejudo.
He looks like, but I like his approach. So yeah, I'll definitely come to class tomorrow, being that it's no gi.
Word.
So yeah, I'll hit you up. And we can go and do the thing.
Word up.
Do the thing. But yeah, so you think Miguel's gonna try out for Aesthetic Temple or?
No, I think he's like once he got his third stripe, I think he's pretty set. I had a talk with
the sensei knew he had a feeling. He was like,
yeah. Well, he went to class today. He got his third stripes today, and he went to class. And nobody showed up for class. It was just the instructor. And he was like, all right, well, like, let's work on, like, whatever you got to work on. So he had that kind of, that intimate thing with him. And I guess he just feels like home there.
Miguel's a smart dude.
He's a cool guy, bro.
He's a smart dude. The way he plays guitar, the way he researches things. He's a teacher.
Yeah.
His approach to things is very meticulous. And he, I tip my hat to him, man. He's a talented individual, so I could definitely see him just really progressing in that field. Whereas I'm just, I just roll with the punches.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's the way to kind of take it out. Because I'm like, look, imagine he's got 3 stripes. I got no stripes.
No stripes neither.
No stripes at all. And it's like, I feel like I could give him a challenge. I don't want to sound like egotistical or anything like that, but I just feel like I have a weird connection to what I'm trying to accomplish when I'm rolling. Like, I want to be in competition. I want to get on top, and I want to sharpen what it is that I'm good at, because I have a goal. Like, I have this aim of competing and just being really good at this for like the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Me too. I mean, you know what, dude? End game is to be a black belt. That would be great. Yeah. I want to be a black belt from white to black, and just why not? Yeah. Why not alongside
because
the music making
that says
and the construction,
but beyond the time that you put in, right? Because that's like a good 10 years of work. That says you're a master not only of your body but of your mind.
Yeah.
Right? You're a master of your physical movements, of the way your mind controls those movements,
hockey,
and also of the discipline that you walk in a fucking building and give that hockey energy.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, I'm ready. Hockey, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. That's one more thing before we wrap this up.
I'm gonna go jam for real quick,
and then we'll do a little jam. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do one with this quote, and then maybe like every time we kind of come up, where we can kind of bring a quote that we can kind of like listen to and dissect. But I heard this quote today, and it kind of really hit me. It was true hell is when the person you are meets the person you could have been.
Yo, that's so oof.
I heard that today, and I was like, oh, and because it's true. Sometimes, there's these little things that you do, and you have these contemporaries, and it's not this jealousy thing, it's this, oh, you put in the effort, and I see where you are, and that could, not that it could have been me, but I could have reached similar levels, but I chose not to for whatever reason. And that's hell. because you saw everything that led up to where he is and where you are.
Yeah, you're in the backseat of your life.
Yeah.
And you're not taking the wheel.
Ooh, I like that.
And directing yourself into
the
path you want to be on. Oof. That is...
Hits, right?
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. I ain't gonna be there, man. I can't.
I don't want to be there.
I don't want to be there.
I don't want to be there.
I won't be there. I can't. No way. No way. No way.
As they. You gotta bring that hockey energy, boy.
That's it. No mama's way. Listen. I'm telling you, dude. I can't. There's something. It's so funny. As I'm not lazy, but I know that I can be very, very lazy. Like something in me is just like constantly just like pushing me to not falter, bro. It's like, bro, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even if you're not good at it, it doesn't matter. Keep at it. Keep at it. Again, it goes back to the beginning of this podcast. It's just like saying what you want. If you want to be better, just keep saying it every day when you wake up before you go to bed. I want to be better. I want to be better. I want to be better. Once it starts shaping, once it starts molding, I become much more specific with it. Well, now that I know this, I know I can be better. I know I can be better. I will be better. Like that's what's gonna take you to that end result of being your very best.
And let's end with that. Hey yo, La Cara, man.
Yeah!
Thank you, brother. Thank you for doing this with me.
The Joey Class Podcast.
To all you bitches out there still listening, thank you guys. You are some real comrades. Remember, it is forever onwards.
Forever, man. You're
Keep
listening.
Pushing.
You're listening.
And we got your back.
You're listening to some real dudes living real lives.
Let's go.
We got your back.
Thank you.